Hello everyone, my name is Adrian Rodriguez, and I'm going to be talking about hacking and if it's ever ethical. Now, before we get into this subject, we don't really know what ethics is. So I went ahead and Googled it, and according to Google, ethics is moral principles that govern a person or group's behavior. Alright, but what are these principles? So for the duration of this video, we're going to be following ACM's moral imperatives that say to contribute to society and human well-being, avoid harm to others, to be honest and trustworthy, be fair and take action to not discriminate, and respect the privacy of others, and more good things like that. So after looking at these moral imperatives, as they call them, wouldn't the answer be clear on what the stance on hacking is? Well, not really, because we wouldn't have this video if it was that simple. So we're going to take a look at some scenarios where you can question the acts of hacking or not hacking. Now, according to Google, hacking is the act of using a computer to gain unauthorized access to data in a system. A recent scandal involving hacking that I'm going to discuss is Hillary Clinton's leaked emails that were obtained from her personal email servers. Apparently, being transparent when running for president is a big deal, and a lot of people were pleased about these emails being leaked, especially since some of them contained excerpts of Wall Street speeches that Secretary Clinton has refused to release. Was it ethically wrong for someone to hack into her private email server and release all her emails to WikiLeaks? According to the moral imperative set by the Association for Computing Machinery, yes, it's objectively wrong to hack into someone's personal files and distribute them to the world. But what about the fact that this leaked information allows for more well-informed voters? A lot could argue that the contents of the email show the type of leader Hillary Clinton would be, and with the information released, could change their mind about which candidate they would be voting for. In this situation, we have a collection of individuals, Hillary Clinton and her staff, who has their campaign data accessed without permission by an unknown party. This information is then leaked to the world. Contrary to the ACM standards, this necessarily is not a bad thing. Like I just said, it provided more good than harm for the general public, but this trait alone does not mean that any type of hacking that does more good than bad is ethically correct. Let's look at another situation where hacking information isn't exactly the most unethical thing to do. Edward Snowden blew a whistle on the National Security Agency and revealed a bunch of documents to journalists around the globe as evidence to the mass surveillance the NSA does on US citizens. Was this act wrong? It goes completely against sections 1.3 and 1.8 of the ACM moral standards. If we look at it through the moral standards of the ACM, this act is a complete violation of ethics. It goes against everything they say not to do. Edward Snowden was dishonest to the company he worked for and was not honest and trustworthy to them as well. Despite going against the ACM standards, you could argue that this hack was not unethical. He did what he did to inform the US population about the data the NSA collects illegally. This in turn raised awareness about the issues of privacy for US citizens and made people more mindful about the information they post online or the information they talk about through cell phones and messenger apps. Some could argue that this act was treason because releasing all this information about how the NSA works could benefit enemies of the United States, but in reality, he was trying to make the US people aware of the state our society is actually in. In this scenario, we have an organization, the NSA, who has their secret files stolen or quote-unquote hacked by Edward Snowden, and we come to the rough conclusion that this hack was not entirely unethical. Alright, scenario 3. God forbid your child dies in a car crash. He was a socially active teenager and had a lot of private albums on Facebook that you want to get access to in order to print them out and have them as a keepsake. He never gave you his Facebook password. You hire someone to brute force your way through his password and gain access. Here you're using a computer to access someone's unauthorized data, but is it unethical? Based on the situation, we could come to the conclusion that no, this is not unethical. You're just trying to get some pictures of your deceased child from his unaccessible Facebook account.
Happened this year where a group of hackers, or maybe one hacker, we don't really know at this point, hacked into iCloud accounts of certain celebrities and then proceeded to leak nude photos and images on the internet of these celebrities. Every headline included Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Lawrence, of course, was extremely upset about this and spoke to Vanity Fair about how she felt about the leak. And she said the following: "Every single thing that I tried to write made me cry or get angry. I started to write an apology, but I don't have anything to say I'm sorry for. I was in a loving, healthy, great relationship for 4 years. It was long distance, and either your boyfriend is going to look at porn or he's going to look at you."
Now, disregarding the slight shift of topic near the end of the previous clip, the fappening is an example of unethical hacking. Some could argue that it benefited the basement lurkers of the world and the fact that a bunch of nudes belonging to celebrities were leaked, but there was no gain from this that was quote-unquote good for society. It was a breach of security and hurt a lot of people that were probably undeserving of such leaks. There was some good from this, though. It showed how Apple's iCloud security was complete garbage and made companies aware that this breach could also happen to them. It made security of cloud information a hot topic, and in turn, Apple stepped up their security game. This minor good is not enough to warrant this as an ethical hack, though. A similar scenario, let's say someone got into your cell phone. You had a bunch of personal information on your phone, and this dude just uploads a backup of your phone to the internet, where anyone could download and essentially have an image of what you have on your phone. Is this unethical? You are a person getting hacked, and some individual is invading your privacy through hacking. This is unethical. What is there to gain from leaking your information? It would be a different story if you were a member of ISIS or something like that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that hacking of individuals that are undeserving of such an act is unethical, or it depends on the situation.
Do we even know who is this 4chan person or website?
He may, and I'm sure we're gonna be able to get some more confirmation on this as the hours and minutes go on. He may have been just a system administrator who knew his way around and how to hack things.
Moving off this topic, after reviewing all these scenarios, we can come to the conclusion that there is no clear-cut answer to the question, is hacking ethical? There are a ton of situations and scenarios to consider before even answering the question. When we pair hacking to the ACM standards, it's always wrong. But what about when you pair it with an individual moral standard? Do you only get chaos, a world where the discretion of what or who to hack is up to that individual? Hacking is not a thing to take lightly. A lot of things are at stake when someone gets hacked, whether it's incriminating information, personal data, or data about others that person could have. But we could say that hacking is necessary. There are some situations where hacking information is good for society by improving our security, like getting intel from terrorist organizations, or where hacking could get us into data that would be otherwise lost, like the scenario mentioned previously with the dead child. All in all, to answer the question of this video, in my opinion, and based on the analysis done during the duration of this video, I think hacking is ethical, depending on the situation, but it's something that should be done scarcely. I hope that this video gave some insight on the ethical issues of hacking, and that you are able to walk away and say, wow, watching this video was not a complete waste of time. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.